Good morning, Long Beach. All right, what a great day, right? You know, I saw a very important person in the crowd besides about 200 more of you, but I want to take a minute to just acknowledge this individual. I think I've lost her, but we have Dr. Jenny Baxter, our board president, in the audience. There she is. So thank you, Jenny, for being here. It's a delight to have her, and to the rest of you, we are also delighted to see you all here. What a beautiful morning, and what an exciting time we have for you this morning as well. So welcome to the 2016-17 Colleague Awards and Service Recognition Ceremony. This is definitely one of my favorite days, and the reason is it's a day where we get to celebrate and acknowledge the hard work, innovation, and dedication of all our employees. But let's reflect for a moment. We are so fortunate to work in this industry of education, and especially here at Long Beach City College. Every morning we get up, and I hope that you feel this way. We come to work to a job that gives us the ability and the honor, really, to change people's lives for the better. At the heart of it, that is our purpose, changing people's lives for the better. When our students succeed and prosper, their families prosper, and in turn, our communities prosper. Imagine the multiplier effect of your work and your touch has on society. It's an awesome role and an awesome responsibility. The employees being recognized today have willingly accepted that role and responsibility, and no doubt work with that purpose at the forefront of their minds every day. Today, we also get to honor employees who have dedicated their careers to serving others. And so we are thankful that they, as well as all of you, continue to serve in the capacities that you do, because it is only together with everyone's talents that we prosper as an institution and we prosper as a community. And I believe we see the fruits of our labor all around us. We work in a beautiful institution with wonderful colleagues, and we are also fortunate to wake up every morning and get to work here. Moving on, there are a couple things I do want to say before we go on to the program, and I want to do this at the top of the program because otherwise I might just forget. But there's no doubt that an event like this requires the enormous team effort on behalf of multiple people. So I want to take this opportunity up front to acknowledge everyone who has been involved. So if you hold your applause, I'll let you know when you can applaud. The Long Beach City College Foundation, our Executive Director Liz McCann, who has provided some support for this program. The Distinguished Online Educator Award Selection Committee, chaired by Hussam Kashu. Facilities Maintenance and Operations for the setup. Instructional Media Production Services, Fred Rosmanak and Jerome Thomas, filming and photography. Multimedia Equipment, Service and Support, Maya Aguilar. Instructional Technology and Distance Learning, CC Sadler, who was involved in the programming and brochure design. Reprographics, Mark Barong, for the brochure printing. Communications and College Advancement, John Pope's area, advertising and program. The Renewal Group Committee, chaired by Paul Creason, and he'll share some acknowledgement later. And I got to thank my staff, all of Human Resources, who is here in force today, who has been assisting in the coordination and logistics of this whole program. It's a tremendous effort, and so with that, everyone, let's give applause to everybody involved in this effort. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do before I sit down, probably one of the most important things I'm going to do today, is introduce our president. So it is my distinct pleasure and honor to introduce you to our newly selected president of Long Beach City College, Dr. Reagan Romali. As probably many of you have read, Dr. Romali comes to us from Harry S. Truman Community College in Chicago, Illinois, where she served as president. Dr. Romali began her first day with us on Monday, and believe me, she has hit the ground running, but this is her first public event. We are absolutely honored and thrilled to have such a warm, intelligent, and accomplished individual to serve as the 10th president of Long Beach City College. So colleagues, please join me in welcoming Dr. Romali.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? Are you all excited for the Colleague Awards today? Good, good. It couldn't be a more gorgeous day. Rose did a fabulous job welcoming everybody. Today, we're going to talk about the accomplishments of our outstanding colleagues, as well as honor our John and Sue Ann Roosh Excellence Award. We're going to have our service awards given out today, as well as our Distinguished Online Educator Award and Walk the Talk certificate. So get excited for a lot of fun today. I know, sometimes it's hard to get up in the morning, but I want you to know that education, I'm a big believer that education solves most societal ills. It solves things like poverty, mental health issues, family issues, crime. Many of the issues that we face in our society can be either eliminated or solved by the work that we do here at Long Beach City College. So when you wake up every morning, I want you to know that you are contributing to solving the problems that we face as a society. The work that we do here is so important. And if you have an off day, just remember the contributions that you're making to society as a whole. And we're going to honor today the people who make a particularly special contribution today. So I want to thank you all for the work that you do on behalf of the college. We are the #1 college in California because of you. We attract so many talented people that work here and stay so long because we are such a fabulous place and do so much to help our students graduate and go on to wonderful opportunities. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, not only to the wonderful, outstanding colleagues that you're going to hear about today, but to each and every one of you for getting up every morning and being so dedicated to helping our students. It is because of you that we call ourselves Long Beach City College. So thank you so much. I appreciate and value all the work that you do today. And let's get excited and have some fun today with our outstanding colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Romali. Is this on? Can you hear? Yeah. Okay, great. So moving on to our outstanding colleagues, let me take this moment to introduce the chair of the Renewal Committee, who is Dr. Paul Creason. Paul has chaired the Renewal Committee for 6 years now and does an outstanding job along with the rest of the selection committee. They are the committee responsible for the selection of outstanding colleagues. And so I'm going to turn over the program to Paul. Thank you, Paul, for all your work.
Thank you very much, Rose. Appreciate that. All right, good morning. You guys ready to have some fun? All right, we're going to do this. I'm so happy to be here. This is an outstanding event here at Long Beach City College. It is so much fun. And the reason it's so much fun is because it's an opportunity for us to recognize one another. All of our outstanding colleagues have been recognized and nominated by their peers. And that's what makes this such a special, special event. When your peers are respectful of you and recognize what you do day in and day out for our students, it is a great feeling. It is a great honor. So these colleagues truly deserve it, and you're going to hear some great things about them as we move forward. But before we do, we're going to kind of get active here, right? So what I want to do is we're going to practice some clapping. Ready? Everybody clap. All right, all right. I'd like for the classified staff to stand up and everyone else clap for them. Classified staff, stand up. Thank you, thank you. Now I'd like all the faculty that are here to stand up and let's clap for them. All right, let's now have the administrators and managers stand up and clap for them. All right, any students in the house? You're what we're here for. Students, stand up. All right, so that's what this is all about. It's about recognizing one another and recognizing this campus as a community. So I'm really excited to be up here today and start the festivities off. First thing I would like to do is, there were many colleagues that got nominated for Outstanding Colleague here, and they sit amongst you today. Each one of them is going to get a certificate. We have those available in the back, so please, if you were nominated, you did get an email from me. You know you were nominated by one of your peers, and that's very special. What I would like to do is to have all of the nominees stand up, and let's practice our clapping again. Who are they? Stand up, nominees. Nice work. Well done. Congratulations. It's each one of you that goes above and beyond that makes this place so special. And your service to the students is absolutely appreciated. So who is our committee? We're called the Renewal Group. We're not crazy about the name, but we inherited it, right? So it's hard to change things, but we're thinking about making a change next year. We don't know. It's going to be fun. Renewal Group. I think back in the day it meant we were trying to renew things as far as getting people out and about and, you know, doing social things. And so it ended up being the committee does our Outstanding Colleague process. We send out a nomination. You all send in a nomination form. You all send those forms in. And then our committee gets together and we look at all of them and we select the winners. And I think we've done an outstanding job this year, if I do say so myself. I would like that Renewal Committee to stand and be recognized. Renewal Committee members, stand up. And a lot of them are in the back already standing because they're helping out. All right, so the theme is that we all make a difference, right? We're all seeing that. And these colleagues that I'm about to introduce to you take it to the next level. And you're going to hear all about that. So, are you ready to hear about these winners? Yes. All right, let's do this. Our first winner is Gene Carbonaro. What I've done is what we have done is we have collected some thoughts from their colleagues about, you know, what they do and how they do it here at Long Beach City College. So I'm going to read a few of those, and then I'm going to let Gene come up and make a 4-minute speech, Gene. 4 minutes. I've seen you in committee meetings before. Gene is an upfront guy. He has worked at LBCC for many years, and it's time that he is being acknowledged for all the hard work he's done at Long Beach City College. He respects people's time and prefers to get to the heart of the matter. In fact, right now he's frustrated that I'm taking the time to turn this page. Calm down, Gene. This outstanding colleague is student-focused, industry-sensitive, enthusiastic leader, innovative project manager, hearty laughter, energetic doer, astute acumen, somebody can tell us all what that means later, I guess, and straightforward honesty. Great qualities, and that does exemplify Gene. Some quotes that we got from Gene are, Gene has a unique ability to ascertain people's strengths. He knows what people are good at when projects come up, and he tends to approach the right people to build his teams. Gene's got a great sense of humor and an uncanny ability to be honest. He jokes with people and makes them feel at ease, but also tells things like he sees them. Ginny Baxter, our board member, first met Gene when he was a student working in the duplicating office, a tiny little windowless room in the A building. She says that she loved his New York accent. After time, it kind of grates on you, Ginny. Eventually, He taught our current board president, in class on how to work a Mac computer. Probably no small order, Jean. She says Jean was so patient and dedicated in his teaching of her. Jean Carbonaro is the hardest working person I know at LBCC, and I can tell you with 100% accuracy, because I've known him for quite some time. This was his son, Nick, that said that. Nick's known you his whole life, hasn't he, Jean? Yeah. Family comes first for Jean. Jean is able to balance his teaching and department chair duties while watching his 2 grandkids on his off days. Having to watch a 3.5-year-old and a 2-year-old leaves Jean with more energy and youthfulness than some of his students. Nice work, Jean. And I'm going to tell you a little story about Jean and myself. You see, Jean and I, we have something in common. We have a couple things in common. We went on a conference last year and we realized that we love baseball and beer. I don't know which one of us loves beer more, but it was pretty neck and neck. And it was a lot of fun. Now, I'm a Dodgers fan, and Jean is a, yes, let's get that clapping going, right? And Jean's a Yankees fan. I know. And we had the opportunity to do something that was on our bucket list. We went to Wrigley Field together for a game while we were back there in Chicago, and it was such a treat. Jean and I feel like we had something to do with the Cubs World Series because we, in fact, went to the opening day game at Wrigley Field. And Jean was showing me these apps we could get tickets with and stuff. So we got some tickets and went to opening day, and we had a really great time. And Dr. Romali, I know that you sent your email about the Cubs, which we're going to wean you off of, and you're going to move into the blue zone, right? But not Yankee pinstripe blue. We're going to stay with the Dodgers. But we had a great time that night. It was a pleasure. It's always been a pleasure to have Jean as a colleague. I'd like to invite Jean Carbonaro up to the podium to say a few things.
Thank you. I don't have anything planned. I usually don't write anything out because if I write it out, I usually don't read it anyway. So I had no plans in being emotional at this because I really don't like these kinds of events to like highlight what I do because I feel like it's just my job and I'm doing just my job. So let me just say this. I work with like literally the best group of people. Where are my COS people? Right here, right? So coming in every day is easy, and I walk around and a lot of administrators like pat me on the back and they say, "Man, you're doing a great job. Your department's doing this. You should be proud." It's only because I got everybody behind me kind of pushing me. So when I come up with ideas in my department, I usually send out an email or a text. I say, "I got a great idea," and they're all like, "Oh God, what's he want to do now?" But to be honest, everybody's on board, and we have 16 or 17 full-timers. We have about 20 part-timers and about 5 classified staff, and everybody is going in the right direction. So it makes it a lot easier as a department chair when everybody is kind of doing the same thing and we all have the same focus. And we always talk about, and I have it in my tag in my email, a little line I always refer to when we talk about things. I always say, and I'm going to forget the tag because I'm a little bit nervous. But it says something like this: do what's best for students and everything else takes care of itself. So we're student-centered, and everything we do in our department is based on what's best for our students. So it's been a great time. Like Paul said, I've been here since 1980. I was a student assistant working in a duplicating room. I met my wife on campus. She was working in the president's office while she was attending Cal State Long Beach. So she was a little bit further along in her education. I think she married me because she saw potential, I guess. And I was working here with August. I don't know if August Luga is here, but him and I were students together. And August used to work in the computer lab as a lab assistant when I was taking classes. And it's funny because now I'm the department chair of the computer department that I took classes, and I'm teaching in the rooms that I took classes. So it's kind of just a full circle there. And I used to send August out on recog missions to find out what my wife was doing over in the president's office before I got enough courage to ask her out. And then her mom worked on campus in IITS, which was called data processing, and she would send people into the duplicating room to see what I was like, because she heard that I was inquiring about her daughter. So, that was something. And I became a classified employee. I had 8 great years as a classified employee. I moved right into being an adjunct at the same time. I had a Mac class. My first class I think I ever taught was everybody who was an administrator or a faculty member that I had in the class as a student. So it was very overwhelming. I walked in and Beverly O'Neill was there, her husband was there, Bill, and everybody was like in that room, and I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? And, I guess I just got into it, and it was like, they were great. I taught a Mac class. I taught everybody how to use a Mac, and then went on from there. I got on full time, and I remember a while back, some of the people in the room know Ed Bush. And Ed Bush was the dean of HR, and I remember telling Ed Bush, he asked me about, you moved up, and what's it feel like? Because, Ed, I was a student assistant, I was a part-time classified employee, I was a full-time classified employee, I was an adjunct faculty, now I'm a faculty. And this was 27 years ago. I said, I only really have 3 jobs left. I got dean, vice president, and president. But 27 years passed, and you can see I haven't really moved up any further, because I just love teaching, and it's just a love affair with the students and the staff. And I feel like I'm blessed because I've had just a great time, and the school's been, it's been professional, but it's also been personal. All 4 of my kids were all through. Okay, Paul, 30 seconds. All 4 of my kids have been through Long Beach City College on their way to university. My oldest son, Nick, went through, got his degree, came back, and now is full-time in the business division. So the Carbonaro name will carry on. And then my grandson starts the Child Study Center in the fall, so the 4th generation of Carbonaros is here. So before I sit down, I just got to tell a quick story about Ginny Baxter, because she said something. Ginny, about a year ago, called us and said, you're doing such an amazing job in your department. I want to have you guys come to a foundation breakfast and honor you and your faculty. And I was like, wow, that's really nice. So all the faculty got together. I think most of the full-timers came, even part-timers came. And there's 2 things you got to know when Ginny Baxter calls you to go to an event. The first thing is she's going to say amazing things about you. And the second thing is bring your checkbook. Because she's going to hit you up for some money. And sure enough, we started spinning that wheel, and we started buying slots and stuff. But it's been a lot of fun. There's no other place I'd rather work. Obviously, I've been here 35 years. It's been all part of my life, and I'm just blessed because I work with just a great group of people who keep me going, and I love the students, and things are great. So thank you for this honor. I appreciate it.
One more rousing applause for Gene Carbonaro. All right, that was fun. Good job, Gene. That was about 6.5 minutes. Our next outstanding colleague is Cece Fan. I know Cece has a lot of support because there's a lot of student services people here in the house, huh? That's right, that's right. So some of the colleagues gave us a few things in their own words, and Cece had this to say. She's a person of many interests. By the way, Cece is in our program, and if you turn to those that have been here 30 years, she's included there. So she has been at Long Beach City College for 30 years, which is impressive. Cece says that she's a person of many interests. Once, a professor at CSULB told her that she is philosophical. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not, she says, but I know I'm at ease with all things in nature. She's an adventurer, she says. She travels a lot. She loves to explore new places, cultures, and hiking trails. In fact, when we went to give her her outstanding colleague announcement, she tried to get us to go on a hike with her. I was like, Cece, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. She loves international food, good company, and California. Yes. She studied arts and public administration, and aside from being a public servant, she is an artist. She creates art from metals, wood, and textiles. What an interesting background you have, Cece. She believes in honor, respect, fairness, and openness. We need world peace and a healthy earth for healthy people. Love our earth and live here. We don't want to move to another planet. Truer words have never been said. What a special person. And from some fellow staff and faculty members, they said, every area has a hub, which enables the office to run smoothly and efficiently. That has been Cece in the counseling area at PCC. She is the go-to person for everything. Next, her motto of Students First is exemplified in her interaction with students who visit the counseling center. Whether assisting them in making a counseling appointment or her "the buck stops here" attitude of making calls to find out what area or office she can send them to so that they don't get the runaround, she advocates for our students. One thing that is pretty cool is that she works with the student assistants and work study students, and she helps develop their future job skills and offers feedback on their strengths and weaknesses. As Cece says, for many of our students, this is their first job, and I'm teaching them the skills to be able to apply to many future jobs. Well done, Cece. And finally, Cece has worked at LBCC for 30 years and has been in the counseling department for more than 20 of those years. During the time that she has brought enthusiasm and helpfulness of someone who has just started their job. With our diverse student population at PCC, she has always shown the sensitivity, the warmth, the sincerity of treating every student as a unique individual, and has always taken pride in her work and being part of the Long Beach City College community. Ladies and gentlemen, Cece Fan.
Good morning, LBCC. Thank you. You are all my dear colleagues. So I was trying to write a speech for the last few days, but the work just keep me busy. I keep getting interrupted. So I didn't finish, and I tell myself, okay, I can just give a free speech of 2 minutes. So I would just like to share a little bit of how I get my work done, and I think it's kind of may help some people because I'm very organized. And sometimes people ask me how you get to be disorganized. Of course, experience counts, but how I learned from it is actually from cooking. When I was about 7 years old, rather than playing with people, children in the neighborhood, I actually watched my mother cook right outside the door of the kitchen. And then she asked me one day, why are you not playing? Why are you watching me cooking? And I didn't know why. I just thought I enjoyed seeing her doing the process of, step 1, step 2, and 3 and 4. And then I told her, I don't know. And then she kind of figured out, she said, you want to learn how to cook? And I felt this excitement inside. And I said, yes. So then from that day on, she taught me how to cook gradually. But the first lesson she taught me was, she said, in order to make something good, you have to be very organized. Step by step, you cannot mix it up. So that was my background. I learned at 7 years old. Step by step, you need to figure out a way to do things in the right steps. And then the next person who taught me how to behave at work is my father. And my father said, people respect hardworking people, and then people who take responsibility seriously. So if, in the future when you work, you got to be that person. Otherwise, you will not be able to keep your job. So that's what he taught me. And the third person who taught me a lot is my previous supervisor, Dr. Cal Farmer. He has retired, but he has become a mentor and a friend. And he basically teach me about human relationships. I worked with him for about 12 years, and I learned a lot from him. And he's living in Ventura County, and he's not able to come today. But I want to share all of this with you, and that's me. And if you need anything, if I know, I will tell you what to do and where to get it or where to find it. And also, I'd like to add, when we work with excellent people and outstanding people, we got to be one of them. Otherwise, we are out. So you are all outstanding and excellent. You are my dear colleagues. Thank you, and I share this award with you.
Thank you very much, Cece. It's easy to see why you work so hard and the foundation that was set by your parents. That's really impressive. And they were right? What great advice they gave you. That's very special. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so get those clapping hands ready. Our next outstanding colleague is Anne Marie Gable. Now, you all know Anne Marie has served as our acting president, bridging to Dr. Romali, and we want to recognize you and let you know how great that has been, and thank you so much for taking on that role. I think I speak for the whole room. Thank you, Anne Marie. The fun and cool thing about Anne Marie is she really respects college morale and camaraderie. She really does. Did you guys know that Anne Marie is in charge of Spring Olympics, right? How much fun. She brought it here. She thought it would be a priority. How much fun is that? We had a blast doing it not too long ago. That's pretty special. She is an administrator that's been nominated before as well, so that's very impressive, Anne Marie. You're doing some things right, that's for sure. We're in good hands with Anne Marie, and I definitely want to thank her on the college's behalf. But they did a fun thing. Her staff put together something where they talk a little bit about Anne Marie and what she means to them. She has no idea what it says. She asked me who wrote it, and I told her a bunch of people, so you're totally off the hook. Those of you that put some zingers in here, I will, like a good journalist, I will go down holding my sources close to the chest. It's not that bad, Amber. It's good, actually. So here's what they say about Anne Marie. She remembers employees' names and faces, our children's names, what school they go to, sports they are involved in, our hobbies, dates we promised projects would be complete, and many minute facts that most of us have forgotten. This keeps us on our toes. She is very fair and keeps the entire college, employees, and students at the heart of her decisions. This keeps us honest. She is sharp and knows all aspects of the college. Very few people understand the entire college as well as Anne Marie. This is not a typical trait for a CBO, and this keeps us focused. It is not well known, but Anne Marie makes cupcakes for her directors' birthdays. In fact, she worked at an Albertsons bakery in her youth. 4 times a year, her directors have the pleasure of eating cupcakes she has made for them while they sing to each other. This keeps us laughing. She is fair and has a keen sense of detail. She is able to decipher through all the minutiae and get down to the important specifics. She makes decisions based on facts and common sense. This keeps us productive and informed. To top it off, Anne Marie cares about each of us. This keeps us human. Anne Marie is fun to be around. She can talk sports better than most guys. She is grounded, promotes our individual and professional growth. She is professional, diplomatic, firm, fair, and incredibly hardworking, all while keeping the students in mind. This keeps us proud. Ladies and gentlemen, Anne Marie Gable.
Wow, I don't know what to say after that. So thank you to my staff, whoever you are. That was pretty awesome. I did write a speech. I'm not a good ad-libber, but I will probably only take 2 minutes, so it's okay, Jean, that you went over, no problem. We'll get us right back on track, because most of you that know me, I am a person of very few words. I just kind of get to the point, or I try to. So in my opinion, the Outstanding Colleague Award is the best award that can be bestowed upon a person. It means that you're doing something right and that your colleagues noticed it. For the past 10 years, I've attended this ceremony and thought how lucky all the recipients were to be receiving the award. Never did I dream or even think that I would someday receive the award myself, so I'm very grateful for that. Long Beach City College is a very special place to me, and it's the best college that I've ever worked at, all because of the people that work here. The people at this college are smart, hardworking, fun, and caring. We work together to achieve our goals like no place else. It's because of you, the employees, that LBCC has national recognition, and many other colleges are trying to mimic everything that we've done. I'm proud to say that I've been a part of that. This past year has brought us many changes, yet we've continued to carry on and move forward. I want to thank everyone for their support while I was the acting superintendent president. You helped me keep us on track without missing a beat. To those of you who nominated me, I want to send my sincerest thank you to each of you. I'm honored, grateful, and really flabbergasted. I couldn't do my job without the support of the greatest team ever, so this award really goes out to all of you too. Thank you very much.
One more round of applause for Anne Marie Gable. Thank you, Anne Marie. That was to the point and heartfelt. Perfect for us, and we are now back on schedule, so yes. I know that's going to make you feel better as we move forward. Yes, I do. I appreciate it. I appreciate it less than you do, but that's good. So here we go. We're going to have some fun here with Carlos Ramos, who is one of our sociology instructors. He is our next outstanding colleague, Carlos Ramos. Carlos is one of those very active and engaged faculty members. You see him all across campus, but he's very humble. You know, if you get to know Carlos, you'll realize that he's humble. But in keeping with our strategy here, we asked them to give us some stuff in their own words, and this is what Carlos submitted to me. I began my career at LBCC as an adjunct instructor. hired by Ray Sumner and Janae Hund in fall of 2001. I was hired as a full-time instructor in 2005. I have served as a department head of the social sciences since December 2014. I have served also in other capacities: academic senator for 5 years, member of the Academic Senate Executive Committee, member of the LBCCFA Executive. Carlos, you're killing me. I'm falling asleep up here. I mean, God. I'm speaking in front of 200 people and I'm getting drowsy. Here we go. He is a current member of the Strategic Plan Oversight Task Force. He's advisor of the LBCC Coalition for Latino Advancement and student organization for 10 years. We're gaining steam here. And president of the Latino Faculty Association. Here we go. He is currently the department head of social sciences. It entails a broad set of duties and responsibilities and daily management of the department, which includes sociology, psychology, philosophy, and dude, I hope your speech is better than this. I mean, no pressure, but all right. I'm not even going to read the part about you going to USC. Bruin fan here, so my prerogative. We asked some people in their opinion. Oh, well, no, we actually asked Carlos. In your opinion, what's the most important part of the work you do at Long Beach City College? And he said, working collaboratively with talented and dedicated colleagues in order to positively impact the lives of our students. All right, we're warming up. Colleagues, positive, that's us. Thank you, we like that. We're waking up. Now, we also said, what part of your work at LBCC do you find the most gratifying or fulfilling? What is your favorite part of the job? And for your sake, I hope this is good, but I got to turn the page. What I find the most gratifying is hearing directly from students about the transformative impact LBCC had on their lives. I especially enjoy graduation day. As members of the LBCC community, I think that each of us can share in the accomplishments and successes of our students. Ding, 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 you got there. Well done. Now, a fellow faculty member shared some things about Carlos that I'd also like to read. It says that Carlos teaches general sociology as well as sociology of Latinos. Always professional, responsible, and courteous. In handling of department matters, he also serves as the advisor for the Coalition for Latino Advancement. Carlos regularly attends extracurricular events on campus and serves both the Academic Senate and the Faculty Association. He makes courageous choices to give voice to social injustices that impact our students and community and is living proof of the great quality that comes with diversity. He is a staple at LBCC. Our students, faculty, and staff are lucky to have him, and that came from one of his faculty colleagues. Carlos Ramos is superbly dedicated to serve the students at Long Beach City College. With a calm demeanor, he leads the social science department in an outstanding manner. Through his many activities, both in and out of the classroom, he motivates our students to recognize their role in our community and society. Under his advisement, the Coalition for Latino Advancement regularly connects to activism in the greater Long Beach area. LBCC CLA has already held 2 Know Your Rights immigration forums at LBCC since the November 2016 election. CLA serves as an advocacy group for the Dreamer students at LBCC, and I cannot imagine our campus without Carlos's amazing ability to serve our students and faculty. He is an inspiration to all. Ladies and gentlemen, Carlos Ramos.
Thank you, Paul. And greetings to everyone. So, and then on behalf of Chancellor Ortiz Oakley, bienvenidos, right? So anyhow, I'd like to recognize our faculty and classified staff, administrators, especially our new president, Dr. Romali, students, also fellow award winners. It is an accomplishment just to be nominated, for this award by my colleagues, but to be selected is a special honor. and I am humbled, and I do have some reticence, and I had some reticence about receiving this award, especially because I know how hard our colleagues work and all the extra time and effort they spend in their service to the college and to our students. I've had the pleasure of working with folks from across the spectrum and in many different capacities, and I can name several individuals in this room who are just as or even more deserving than I am. I would like to give a few shout outs to some of the other groups that I've worked with over the last year. So the Social Sciences Department, if anybody's here from Social Sciences, thank you for allowing me to serve as the department chair. Academic Senate, Latino Faculty Association, Little Spot, Small Spot, you know who you are. Extended Spot, where's Extended Spot? Friday Nighters, any Friday Nighters here? The Kamai Student Support Success Working Group. Julie, you're not here. Nelson, nobody not here, okay. Puente. The Social Justice Studies Working Group. Lee's here, yeah, thank you, Lee. CLA. The USC Peer Equity Working Group. Anybody here from that one? Okay. DPPR, the Dippers here. Anybody from There's no little dippers or big dippers, just dippers. Department heads, I want to recognize my fellow department heads as well. The We the People Working Group, thank you for all your help with that. And also the Long Beach City College Moving Forward group. Anybody here from that group? All right, good. So I'd also like to thank my wife, who is in attendance, for being here and for her love and support and patience. And also for appreciating and understanding what Martin Luther King Jr. called the fierce urgency of now in providing support to our students in our communities. I'd also like to thank Janae for nominating me. Is Janae here? I think she just walked out, but. And also for taking a chance on a very green sociology graduate student about 15 years ago, along with Ray Sumner, who was eager to get into the classroom. That was me. Thank you for that opportunity and for being such a great colleague, advisor, and mentor over the years. And I know that I'm also in part receiving this because of my work and involvement with the Know Your Rights Forum and the Teach-In series. And I would be remiss not to acknowledge the dedicated and ridiculously talented faculty and students that collaborated on these projects, especially my faculty colleagues in political science and history and the social sciences, Lisa Orr, who was also instrumental in the planning, as well as the students from CLA, the Visual Anthropology Club, and Long Beach Students United. And we're living in an extraordinary historical moment now, and it's going to require some extraordinary efforts to make sure we get things right. And luckily, we have some extraordinary people right here at Long Beach City College that are committed to building a supportive and inclusive community. And I'm very proud to be a part of that work. And I would also like to recognize my students, especially those dreamers whom I've worked closely with over the years. To me, they are a source of inspiration, and I stand in constant awe and admiration of their tenacity and drive to succeed in the face of such uncertainty. Anything that I have done pales in comparison to their courage, and I would like to honor their Si Se Puede spirit with this award, right? And I hope it catches on. But I want to thank you again for this award, for your generous consideration, and I look forward to to continuing our vital work here at Long Beach City College. Thank you and have a great day.
One more time, nice and loud for Carlos Ramos. As you can see, he's very humble and giving of his time and efforts, and the students and everyone at Long Beach City College benefits from that. We admire your dedication, Carlos. Thank you so much. Okay, so our last and final outstanding colleague of the day is Kimberly Kuros. Kimberly, you're probably afraid because I gave Carlos such a hard time. I'm going to be easy on you, so we're good. We're good. We're just going to bring you up here, say some nice things about you, let you go on your way. So this is what they say about Kimberly. Kim's work has made a tremendous impact on the assessment office. She is dedicated and committed to LBCC and student success, and this is reflected in her approach to her work each and every single day. She loves her job. When the committee was talking about Kim as far as a nominee, it was like she's always the person that makes it work. She's behind the scenes, but she's so integral to what she does in that space, and it was definitely recognized, so congratulations. Kim has a can-do spirit and an ability to build people up. She is incredibly positive, and that is reflected in her approach to work. In the face of challenge, she always says, "We can do this." She always finds a way to resolve challenges. Kim is one of the most giving people I know. She gives her time and support to others. She is willing to help someone else, whether it's answering a question, helping complete an assignment, or covering duties. Kim gives back to everyone in her community in tremendous ways. Other comments from the staff were, Kim is a dependable individual. She can always be counted on to get the job done. She is devoted to success, both for the students that we serve as well as our team. She is kind and understanding and the best supervisor I've ever had. That's a pretty nice compliment. Here's another. Kim is a wonderful colleague that I can say exemplifies the words hard work and altruism. Not just because I work with her, but I see day in and day out when she's here at the college and always with a smile. She is someone that you would want on your team and in your department. She is also one of the nicest people I know. She wants the students to be successful here at the college. Her actions speak louder than words. I can't think of anyone more deserving of this award. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Kimberly Kuros.
Thank you. I do have a speech. I want to thank several people. I want to thank everyone who took the time out of their busy schedule to nominate me. I am extremely humbled. I am so blessed to be part of LBCC's family. I want to thank the teachers like Jean Carbonero, the counselors and the classified staff for showing me that students matter. Thank you, English department, faculty, and staff, for the kindness you gave while working as a Federal Work Study student. Thank you, Dean Noel Correll, for your leadership. Thank you, Janny McKay, for giving me the opportunity to work as a LTE and then as a full-time employee. Thank you for being that supervisor that cared for the students and went the extra mile to show how staff is important and works as a team. Work at a team. Thank you, Blanca Galicia, for pushing me through the years. Thank you, Sonia Del Toros, for your leadership in stepping in as our supervisor. We are truly blessed to have found another strong leader that gives 100% and embraces teamwork. Thank you, Elijah Sims, for directions and leadership. Thank you, assessment staff, my colleagues, my peers, for being you, for helping the students with a smile, and for hopefully making your experience here at Long Beach City College as positive as mine was and continues to be. And lastly, I want to thank my husband and my children for their support and believing in me throughout the years. Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly. It is a pleasure to have awarded this to you. Thank you so much for what you do for our students. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Kim. So as you can see, a theme is all of these award winners and our nominees and those that work here really go above and beyond for our students. And it's really evident when you hear them speak, when they talk about what they do, when you see what their colleagues think of them. It's really, really quite special. So the outstanding colleague portion is very important to this campus. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but they've been doing it since 1984. So it is a very long tradition here at Long Beach City College. That being said, get your clap hands ready. I would like all winners of Outstanding Colleague over the years, including the new ones, you get to stand, to please stand and be recognized. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. And with that, that concludes this portion of the program. Now I would like to bring Dr. Romali up to do the Roosh Awards for us. Dr. Romali.
Congratulations, outstanding colleagues. I know each of you mentioned that you were humbled, but we are truly humbled by you, and we thank you so much for everything that you show us how to be great leaders and how to put students first. So thank you again. I want to introduce today the John and Sue Ann Roosh Excellence Award. John E. and Sue Ann D. Roosh, leaders in the community college field and early proponents of the idea that teachers have a major responsibility for how well students perform in the classroom, have been partners for the League for Innovation in the Community College for over 35 years. In recognition of the long tradition of excellence in community college teaching and leadership, the League established the Excellence Awards that celebrate outstanding contributions in leadership by community college faculty and staff. Recipients are recognized in a series of activities and promotions and honored at special events in the League's Innovation Conference each spring. The first individual that I would like to recognize today is Dina Humble. Now, she's no longer with the college, but I'd love to read you her biography and tell you about how wonderful Dina is. Dina Humble is a former Dean of Social Sciences and Arts at Long Beach City College, and she began her career here as the Dean of Social Sciences and Arts in July 2012. She came to us from Norco College, where she was an associate professor in the music department, as well as a department chair of arts, humanities, and world languages. Dina's passion for working with students with disabilities led her to be involved in the design of the College to Career program. Her creativity and diligent work in leading the dean's team marketing efforts was invaluable in increasing student enrollment. She's also served on both the full-time and part-time faculty collective bargaining teams and has chaired numerous hiring committees. Committed, persistent, and highly valued by her peers, Dina is guided by the principles of equity, social justice, and educational opportunity for all. In addition to her excellent work ethic, she's a talented musician and vocalist who often employed her creative side in her projects. She's a great advocate for professional development of her faculty and staff, and she supported and encouraged their attendance at workshops and conferences. An excellent role model to new team members, Dina approaches everything with great attitude and a wonderful smile. Throughout her tenure at LBCC, she consistently exhibited an eagerness to learn and to get involved with the campus community. Although Dina has recently returned to her home state of Minnesota to become the Dean of Academic Affairs at Anoka Technical College, she was a vital member of the college's administration, and her exceptional commitment to students has left a lasting imprint. LBCC's loss is Minnesota's gain. So join me in thanking, from the bottom of our hearts, Dina Humble, and recognize her for this very special award. Yes. Okay, congratulations, Dina. The next individual that I would like to recognize is Shauna Hageman. Shauna has been with LBCC since 1989. She began as an adjunct instructor before becoming a full-time counselor in the Disabled Students Program and Services since 2001. She served as the faculty co-chair on numerous committees, including the Access Committee, the BSI Committee, Promise Pathways, Student Success and Student Equity, in addition to serving on the Senate Executive Team for 10 years. As a counselor in DSPS, Shauna works every day to enable students to participate fully in all programs and activities here at the college. She's a staunch student advocate. She's diligent about finding alternative approaches that best serve the individual needs of each of her students. She's always willing to put in long hours necessary to help the students succeed and goes above and beyond in addressing their needs through collaboration, leadership, and creativity. She's committed to creating a quality work and learning community for every student, every faculty member, classified member, and administrator. Her approach encompasses a personal responsibility to equity and social justice and multicultural education that we can be proud of. To see a student learn, grow, and succeed is what she finds most gratifying about her job. Passionate, collaborative, and caring, Shauna continually focuses on student needs and doing whatever it takes to ensure that our DSPS students receive the support they need. We're fortunate to have Shauna at LBCC and congratulate her on receiving the well-earned reward. The next individual that we'd like to honor and introduce to you is Sonia Verduzco. Sonia began her career at LBCC in 2004 as the Career Center Coordinator. She worked in EOPS, the Office of Student Life, Veterans Affairs, Financial Aid, and Fiscal Services before leaving for a brief period to work at her alma mater, UC Santa Cruz. She returned to us in 2013 and currently works as an enrollment specialist in the PCC Pacific Coast Campus, Transfer, and Career Center. She assists with the coordination and implementation of enrollment management initiatives and transfer programs, such as the new student workshops, early bird presentations, transfer workshops, campus tours, and university fairs. She also serves as the LBCC Campus Advisor for the Dream US National Scholarship Program. How can this help the student is a question that Sonia constantly asks to inform her decisions. How wonderful. Always one to welcome challenge, she is continually willing to take on additional projects that foster student success, including her work supporting scholarships for Dreamers. Equity in terms of delivery of services and availability of resources is a consistent factor in the way that she approaches her work. To Sonia, the most important part of her work is assisting students in finding the resources and information that they need to accomplish their educational and life goals. And she does this in such a supportive and caring way, if you know her. Her underlying philosophy is that education and training lead to economic justice and will ultimately result in sustainable local economies and happier, healthier, thriving communities. According to Sonia, when a student walks into her office feeling lost or confused but leaves empowered and hopeful about their future is the most rewarding aspect of her job. She's empathetic, she's resilient, and student-centered. Sonia is a constant source of information and motivation for the students that she serves. We're so proud to have her at LBCC and congratulate her on this well-deserved award.
All right, one big round of applause for those winners. Next up is our Distinguished Online Educator Award. I'd like to present Dr. Hussam Kashu, who is our Director of Instructional Technology and Distance Learning. He's going to tell us about this and tell us about the winners. Hussam?
Thank you, Paul. So our college has an outstanding group of full-time and part-time faculty members who are dedicated to the education and success of our students. Many of these faculty members teach online, which is a domain that requires a unique dynamic of teaching, learning, preparation, and interaction. The purpose of this award is to recognize and honor faculty members who provide innovative, exemplary practices in their online courses, increasing student equity, engagement, and success. The Distinguished Online Educator Selection Committee, we would like to thank the selection committee for their dedication and their time and effort to support the review and selection process of the award. As you see on the board, their names. Many are not able to attend today. However, for those who are here, may you please stand to be recognized. Which is fitting. We would like to also send, no, this is, you understand now. We would like to also send special thanks to Anissa Gomez. Anissa is our representative, the representative of the arts on our ASB cabinet and was our student rep for our online education committee, and she volunteered to be on the selection committee. Her insights and feedback provided us with a unique student perspective on online learning and was greatly appreciated. May you please stand up, Anissa? And Anissa is graduating in June and transferring to CSU Long Beach, majoring in architecture. Anissa is a great reminder of why we are all here, striving to support the success of our students. So thank you, Anissa. And thank you to all of our full-time and part-time faculty for their dedication for our students. The recipient, today we'll talk about our honorable mention first. The recipient of this year's honorable mention is Allison Murray. She's an associate professor in our English department for her course, English 105, Fundamentals of Composition. She used the Long Beach City College's new Canvas learning management system. That's a picture of her course. A few highlights provided by the selection committee on Allison's course include easy to follow, very structured and easy to follow schedule. And then I gave her major props for teaching English. This is not me saying this, this is someone saying this. I gave her major props for teaching an English course online and having an outline of what the class will consist of. And so we had many of those type of feedbacks where it was referring to the structure and organization of the course and how clear she was in her presentation. I'm not sure, I don't think Allison is here today. Is she here today? No. Yeah, but we would like to congratulate her anyways, and so may you please give her a round of applause. So we would like to now present our recipient, the 2017 recipient of the Distinguished Online Educator Award, Melvin Cobbs. Melvin is an associate professor in our Computer and Office Studies department for his course, CPAS 2, Critical Thinking Using Computers. He's using the LBCC's Moodle Learning Management System. A few highlights on Melvin's course. Well, this is his course, it's a screenshot of his course. And a few of his highlights, there's many. It was very informative, easy, accessible for students to follow. I won't go over all of them. You can see some of them on the slides. He had many examples. Lectures were very easy to understand. The flow of the course was very structured and organized. Some things to note, Melvin had many video orientations. He had a video orientation welcoming his students to the class, and he used great use of narrative, closed caption videos, lectures for his lessons. And he had a great course design and organizational structure for his weekly modules, which we saw on the earlier screen. Without further ado, please help me welcome and congratulate Melvin Cobbs.
Well, it's just a terrific honor to receive this and to be recognized. But I have to be honest and say that it's completely a team effort. And I really want to acknowledge the three very extraordinary departments that I work with that really have gone into helping with the development of our online program. Number one, the Computer and Office Studies Department with the curriculum development part of that. Just some fabulous colleagues there for all the support that has gone into it. And number two, the Learning and Academic Resources Department, just incredible amount of help that goes through for our students in the computing labs that we have available for them. And then finally, the Instructional Technology Development Center, Hussam's crew and Cece and Monica. There's just an incredible staff that we have, and all the support that goes through not only for the development of the online course, but also the support that we have available for their students, because let's face it, that is the real reason we are here. And also, I want to really encourage all of you who are out there who are thinking about teaching an online course. Is an excellent environment to go into. We have an incredible amount of support from our administration in terms of the training and the development that goes into it. And I want to thank you all. And again, this is a team effort, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Hussam, and congratulations, Melvin. Well done, well done. Now I'd like to bring up Rose Delgadio to tell us about the Walk the Talk program and do some honoring of our participants.
Can I get Mona Hassan up here? Dr. Mona Hassan, please. So as Mona walks up, this is a joint effort, actually. This is going to be the first year that we're awarding this particular certificate. And I just want to give you a little bit of background. I'm going to turn it over to Mona, but it was 3 years ago that the Faculty and Staff Diversity Committee designed and developed, and I'm looking at Lee Douglas, he was a part of this, designed and developed the Walking the Talk Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Certificate Program. So the program is a professional development program that was designed to build an environment that supports diversity and advances equity and inclusion in our work environment. It is further designed to enhance our employees' skills and at the same time create an environment that is progressive and proactive in the support of closing student achievement gaps. The Not-for-Credit Certificate program consists of a series of core topic areas to include differing abilities, ethnicity and culture, privilege, sexism, heterosexism and ageism, socioeconomics, and veterans. Through these district-sponsored workshops, participants learn practical strategies and tools for the classroom, as well as gain knowledge and understanding of the available resources that enable faculty and staff to more effectively serve and lead on behalf of our diverse community of students and staff. The certificate of completion is attained by the completion of at least one course in each topic area sponsored. So today, Mona and I are proud to bestow the first certificate completers to 5 employees who have completed their 6 classes. So let me introduce to you Mona Hassan, who is our Director of Classified Human Resources, but also happens to chair the Faculty and Staff Diversity, and this year is one of the first completers. So I'm going to bestow the certificate to Mona and then let her take over the program. Mona, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
If you bring up the rest.
Thank you, Rose. Well, it was under Rose's leadership with those folks that she mentioned earlier that this program was developed, so I'm very happy and proud to be a part of this effort as well. We will introduce 5 people, including myself, that Rose just did, but we have 4 people that actually completed the certificate as well. 3 of them represent the classified service, and then we have 1 person, which I'm going to recognize first, Trevor Rodriguez. He is unable to make it today, and I just wanted to have you join me in congratulating Trevor Rodriguez for completing the certificate. So I'm going to ask the following 3 remaining recipients to come up here, and we'll take a group picture after we give you your award. But Kay Copy's here today. Can you come up? And then we have Marian Palacios. And we have Allison Brown. So join me again in just welcoming, congratulating them on completing their certificate of equity, diversity, and inclusion. Walk the talk.
All right, congratulations one more time to our award winners there. We thank them for their continued professional development and continuing to do a great job and learn on the job as we do better every day for our students. So moving on to our next item on the program, and that is our service recognition individuals. Today we're going to recognize individuals who have from 5 years to 35 years with Long Beach City College. Imagine that, 35 years. We actually have a number of those people. But first we're going to start with our part-time faculty. And these are part-time faculty, so if I could get the part-time faculty to start lining up. These are part-time faculty who have 20 years or more of teaching with the district, and we want to recognize those individuals because that's a very long time to be working here at Long Beach City College as a part-timer and dedicating your part-time life to us. So I'm going to bring up Terry Long, who's going to begin the program here. Thank you, Terry.
So can I ask the part, should I just call your names? Or do you have a card for me? You come on up. Because I don't know. Okay, Richter Clough, congratulations. Karen Vogel, congratulations, Karen. John Weispolsky. Congratulations, John. And Last but not least, Kent Morris. Congratulations, Kent.
Now we get to honor the 5-year, so those that have been with the college for 5 years. Shira Compton. Sean Cully. Michelle Airy. Haley Nguyen.
Good morning, everybody. I have the pleasure of introducing the folks that have been here for 10 years, and we actually have 28 of them. If you could please line up. That's a decade. Just to think about it, you've given a decade of your lives to Long Beach City College. Thank you very much for that. Okay. Who's going to be first? Donna Coates. Jacqueline Jung. Con Lee. And Marie Gable. Medhani Ephraim. Michael Burke. Shamika Simpson. Kimberly Slaney. And the famous color man, Robert Raposa. Mary Ann Palacios. Monica Deanda. Dr. Eva Begg. Brittany McCoy. And Camille, could you stand here for a second? Camille Bolton, it's her birthday today. Can we sing happy birthday really quickly? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Camille. Happy birthday to you. Arturo Ramirez. Congratulations, everyone.
All right. Those of you that have been here for 10 years are a gabby bunch. Something to be said about being here a decade. Anyways, I get to honor those that have been here for 15 years. So if you guys could start lining up. And while they're lining up, I know a couple things. Our board member, Vivian Malaolu, showed up. So Vivian, did she leave? Oh, there she is. Okay. And then if you guys can indulge me one moment, I forgot to thank my wonderful husband of 28 years and my mother-in-law who are here. So if you guys could stand. Okay, come on down, Margaret. Margaret Antonio Palomares. Annie Engel. Blanca Galicia. All right, that looks like it's it.
Okay, can we ask those of you who have been at this college for 20 years to please line up? That is 2 decades. Okay. Luann Bynum. Judy O. Mary Olson Bell. Tiari Hotra. And no other than Kathy Each. Any more 20s making your way up here? Okay.
Okay, so I'm back up here to announce, I have the pleasure of announcing the 25th year recipient. And we only have one this year. And actually, she needs no introduction. This is Deli, who used to be Ukwu, now Lodijobi? Lodijobi, sorry. We're going to take a photo. Bear with us. Can I have the 30-year recipients line up? "30 years, wow, that is a long time. Okay, let's go ahead and take, come on down. Donna LaDuff. This next person needs no introduction. Cece Fan. And Nancy Meow Moore. And last but not least, the 35th year service recognition. Oh my gosh. These are otherwise known as our veterans. Renee, come on down. Renee Powell, everybody. Mark Garber. And what was your name again? Jean Carbonaro, one more time.
Did you have fun? I can't hear you. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Let's have everyone who was honored today stand up and let us give you some love. Thank you so much. We honor you today. We thank you. We're so humbled by you, and we're inspired by you every day and your dedication to put students first at Long Beach City College. So thank you so much. From the bottom of our hearts, we love you. I hope that you felt the love and the care of your family from LBCC around you today in a giant hug of love and support. Thank you. And don't forget, we want to honor you a little bit more, so go on out and join us for some cake and refreshments outside. And thank you again to everybody who joined us today and worked so hard.